All right, welcome everybody. We are glad that you are here for today's talent show where you will meet the people that power TTEC. I'm Rebecca and I'll be your host for today's journey. We're very glad that you're here. We know there's many ways that you can be spending your time. So welcome back if you've been a part of our show before or if today is your first day joining us, we are glad that you are here. So far this year, we have been really focused on improving our lives in many different ways. We started off the year talking about your wellness blueprint and the journey, and then we also had a session on the power of mentorship. So I'm really excited to talk today about the power of giving back in our communities, and we've got the perfect guest to highlight that so that we can all really feel this impactful effort with our own lives, within our communities, and of course, how we can elevate our employee experience. So we'll be talking a lot about a spotlight on TTEC Ahmedabad and their recent wellness walk and their journey over the past couple of decades. And I know today's guest will inspire you with all of her efforts. So we want to be sure to meet you. So please drop in the chat where you're joining us from today. We love seeing the global audience and having the opportunity to give shout outs around the world, and especially with our Ahmedabad, India team that may be joining us today as well. So today's guest, I've admired across the ocean. Her commitment to her community, to her team, shines through in all of her efforts. Kruti is the director of TTEC Ahmedabad. She has been with the company for 23 years. That's right, 23 years. And she is an active advocate and community member of our employee resource group, Women in Leadership. So let's meet you, Kruti. Come on in. Let's say hello. Hey, how are you?
Hello, everyone.
Kruti, it is the middle of the night where you are. Thank you so much for joining us. I know you're just coming off an amazing walk and 3 months of preparation prior to that. So thanks for agreeing to come on and share your time and your insight with all of us here today. We have, oh, hi, Pradeep. I know you in the chat. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us from Ahmedabad. So Kruti, we're going to talk a little bit today about the wellness walk. And I know there's so many different elements of it. But first, would you tell us a little bit more about you and your journey here at TTEC? Because it's a good one.
I started as a customer care representative in year 2000 with one of our oldest clients at TTEC Ahmedabad site. So it's been 23 years now. I grew up the ladder becoming QA team leader, supervisor, manager, and started handling more and more teams at different levels, serving clients in different verticals. And today I lead TTEC Ahmedabad site as Director Service Delivery and the Women in Leadership ERG. What has kept me glued to the organization for such a long time is our unique work culture. And each day brought a different set of challenges, along with an opportunity to learn and grow. It's been a wonderful journey so far.
Wow, Kruti, you really went quickly through 20 years of experience and your growth through the company. So someday we'll need to deep dive into that because I think there's so many stories just within that. But I know you're here today to talk about one of your passions, which is the wellness walk. And before we jump into the context and you share more with us about the journey, how the walk began, and then we talk a little bit more about the success of this past weekend, we want to cue a video to give everybody a glimpse into last weekend's event. And so as we take a peek into that video, then we'll jump back in over to you to ask you a couple more questions. So as that video comes up, we will be ready. I love it. I need to learn the dances. That's great. So, Kruti, could you take us through? I know that that event just took place recently, but could you take us through where did it all begin? Give us the origin stories as we come up to 2024.
So we started this annual wellness walk 22 years ago with two objectives. First one is to create health awareness in the community, and the second one is to raise funds for social causes. The beneficiary NGOs or the charities we support, they are working at the grassroots levels. Not talking about the charity organizations that are very well funded or publicized widely. The first walk garnered 700 participants with all our employees joining with their family and friends, all through just word of mouth at the time. As there was no social media, no mobile phones, no other opportunities to promote the event. So that's how the first walk happened. And it's a matter of pride for us that our annual wellness walk has now become flagship event for the city of Ahmedabad, supported by all our employees, family and friends, plus sponsors and media partners. The best part is 100% of the funds raised. They go to the beneficiary NGOs. And over the last 22 years, we raised 1.83 million US dollars for 74 different NGOs.
Kruti, I feel like every time you speak, I'm like, wow, that's amazing. That is, just to think back a context of a time when we didn't have the cell phones, didn't have everything, like you said, it spread word of mouth to what it's become today, which I know you're going to highlight a little bit more with us, is amazing. And did you say 1.18
83
million?
million.
Oh my goodness.
1.83 million.
That is the power of people coming together to make an impact in their community. So congratulations to everyone, who's really participated in this event over the years. That's fantastic. So thank you for that context. And that takes us to last weekend. Again, thanks for joining us here today. I know you've been literally on a roll for the past 90 days. And so we're glad you're here. What are some of the highlights from this past weekend's event?
So over 4,700 participants registered for the walk this year, and we raised 100,000 US dollars for four beneficiary NGOs that are working for social upliftment. We saw an overwhelming, almost 100% participation from our TTEC Ahmedabad team. More than 200 employees volunteered to support this event, helping out with registrations, social media promotions, photography, preparing the venue, managing the entire route for the walk, entertainment through music bands, dancing, and several other tasks. And there is no event management company involved in organizing this event for obvious reasons to be able to contribute more for the social causes. All the teams come together to act as one during this event, and you can see all these TTEC values. They are live in action here.
Yeah, you all definitely take the values off the wall and put them into action in your community, which is just really admirable, especially to get, it's really hard to volunteer sometimes to, go meet people, make that effort. We're kind of all in our routines. So the fact that you had almost 100% participation from TTEC Ahmedabad employees is really fantastic. And I'm really glad that you highlighted that part too, let alone the financial contributions, and along with the wellness aspect of the walk, where you're walking to nourish your mind, body, soul, all of that. So that is really fantastic. And Smearty over in the chat is also saying it's a difference is made at a grassroots level. And I think that absolutely leads into a question that we want to ask our audience as well, which is, how does your workplace encourage you to give back to your communities? I was reminded this weekend, entirely separately from the walk, Kruti, of a Gandhi quote, which I don't want to butcher it. So, if we could change ourselves, the tendency in the world would also change. We need not wait to see what others do. And I think that really encapsulates what the TTEC Ahmedabad team has done over all of these years. And I'm really glad that the walk has flourished under the leadership and the participation of the team. So I want to know, how does your workplace encourage you to give back in your communities? But then we'll now go back over to you, Kruti. Everything you've shared so far has been really inspiring. And I'm sure over the past 20 some years of doing this, you have a story or two that has touched your heart. We probably don't have time for all of the stories, but could you highlight a couple that have been most meaningful to you along the way?
So I'm able to recall during the fifth annual Wellness Walk, we were supporting a charity organization committed to helping persons with deaf blindness and multiple disabilities. So, if someone cannot see or hear, they can still be trained through other senses or relate to the world. However, deaf blindness is a unique disability that combines varying degree of both hearing and visual impairment. And the affected individuals experience extreme challenges in communication, mobility, and they are often neglected. To our surprise, the individuals with deaf blindness from this organization, they completed the entire 5 kilometer walk holding hands of our volunteers. So I reached out to the representative from the organization to convey thank you to all the participants. He just asked me to communicate directly with them, holding out my palm and the deaf blind participant holding out his palm. So we communicated writing words in capital letters on each other's palm and shared appreciation for being a part of the walk. That was my personal best moment. Then last year, we resumed the physical walk after two virtual walks we held during COVID. When we were addressing the new hires who had volunteers, there was one employee who raised hand, and he mentioned that he was familiar with the walk. We asked him how, and he mentioned that he had participated as a child walker from one of our beneficiary NGOs supporting education of less privileged children. 13 years later, that beneficiary child is one of our employees. That was a heartening experience for us. Our giving back to the community efforts are definitely in the right direction. And talking about our own employees, several of them have taken up walking, running, cycling, or some form of sports as their regular fitness activity. A few of them also run full marathons now. The message is very clear: health comes first.
Those stories, Kruti, really just gave me the chills to see everything come full circle. Like you're saying, either the employees going out and uh, continuing their wellness journey, or the child participant now becoming an employee at TTEC, and also paying it forward in their lives too by becoming a part of the walk. Like, so many beautiful stories, and especially the one that you shared. It really shows the power of love and communication that can reach beyond sights and abilities, right? So really appreciate you sharing those stories. So Kruti, I can't even believe it. We're almost at the end of our conversation here. But back to you just really being an inspiring person, and the TTEC Ahmedabad team as a whole. Oftentimes it's hard, right? Like, where do we start? We want to give back. There's so many choices. There's so many opportunities to give back, whether it's money, time, whatever it may be. So tell us a little, and it could be the same way in our journey too. Do we start with our diets? Do we start with wellness, like walking? Where does it all begin? But could you tell us a little bit, if we do get stuck, how do we get unstuck so we can really help to lead ourselves to more fulfilling lives?
It's pretty simple. It starts with you. Take care of yourself first. Start with something as simple as walking. It's free. And you can go for a walk anytime, connect with the nature, and there are so many benefits of walking. And when you are healthy and happy, you can spread that to the world, helping out those who need that little support. Great way to get started. You can submit a grant request with TTEC Foundation and make lasting and positive impacts to your communities. We are supporting several community projects here in India through TTEC Foundation grant. Talking about one of our recent projects with Chinmay Trust, we have built a skill development center for intellectually disabled children and are also supporting their operating cost. Our volunteers are highly engaged with these children, spending quality time with them. We also go and celebrate festivals with them. So that's how we are making the impact. And I'll share my favorite Gandhi quote here as we end: be the change you wish to see in the world.
Absolutely. Thank you so very much. I think all of those tips, it starts with you putting your own oxygen mask on first so that you can be better for yourself and the others around you. And I love it, Kruti. You have inspired me to take some micro moments of walks. If I can't get the big walk in, at least get outside, get the sun, and connect in with nature as well to really stay my best for not only me but for those around me. And also, I hope to be back in March with more about it, but I did submit my TTEC Foundation grant, and I get to go to a classroom coming up here in March and read with the kids because the foundation provided books for a classroom for 2 classrooms for the whole year here in my home state, in my town of Phoenix, Arizona. So I'm with you. Get that foundation grant in. You just need a certain level of signatures. We're all here to sign alongside you. So I love it, Kruti, from your wellness walk to the foundation, just to the spirit of volunteerism and giving. We appreciate you inspiring us. Thank you so much for your time today. Get some rest.
Thank you. Thank you. And together we make a difference.
Absolutely. I love it. One step at a time, right? Thank you. All right, everyone. Kruti, have a wonderful day. We just have 2 more quick things for you as we round out our show here today. If you're inspired by the TTEC Ahmedabad team and you happen to be in that town, please check out our fraud prevention representative position. That is something where you can not only make an impact on the customers that you serve, but as a part of the greater TTEC team, you can also make a difference every day. So the link will be in the chat. And then we also have, kicking it back over to the United States, we have a remote role for a business information security principal. This is a really important position that will help us with all of the aspects of creating great employee experiences along the way and keeping our safety. So that will also be in the chat. Please check that out. We appreciate everyone being here with us today. We hope that you walk away inspired by the amazing efforts that when you come together as a community, as a group, whether you're a small group or a large group, the impact that you can make, and not only on everyone else's lives, but your own life as well. If you think that this episode will inspire a friend who maybe has been meaning to get out for that walk or meaning to get out to volunteer, or it's the perfect way to tag them and say, hey, let's go volunteer together, please do like, share, comment, and tag your friend along the way. We appreciate Kruti and her time. As always, I appreciate our producers behind the show, Dora, Smirti, Gabby. We appreciate you. We'll see you all back in a couple weeks as we celebrate International Women's Day. Have a wonderful weekend ahead and see you all soon.